Look, man, something I see a lot, especially recently, is everybody wants people to see when they rise. Everybody wants people to see what they're doing and what they got going on. They want to broadcast it to the whole world. They want everybody to know that they're going out and doing something. They want everybody to know that they're going out and starting something. But real power comes when you keep all those things in and you just grind and you work behind closed doors. The comeback starts when nobody's watching, when nobody knows what you're doing. Like sometimes, bro, or really all the time, man, not everybody needs to know what you got going on. Not everybody needs to know your plans and your path and what you're going to do today or what you're going to do tomorrow. Like, not everybody needs to know that because they don't. Like, it doesn't involve them. And a lot of times people are just going to prey on your downfall when they find out what you're trying to do, or just try to hold you back when they find out what you're trying to do. So you just got to stay silent. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep all that within. And that silence is not weakness. That silence is where your strength is reborn. You maybe feel lost right now. You maybe feel like nothing's going right. You maybe feel like you've hit rock bottom and you're trying to make a comeback. But that comeback has to be silence. Like, not everybody needs to know what you're doing. That silence and behind those closed doors is where you rebuild. Like, there's strength in the silence. When you fall, when you fail, the first step isn't to prove everybody wrong. Like, you don't got to prove anything to anybody. You don't got to prove other people wrong. You just got to prove yourself right. You got to get right within yourself. You got to figure out ways to make yourself proud, to prove that you can do something to yourself. Like, you don't got to prove that to the world. You can try to prove it to the world all you want, but if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe that you can do something yourself, then it's all for naught. You know what I'm saying? You have no confidence in yourself, man. So you got to spend some time by yourself. You got to spend some time in silence to heal, to plan, to realign, to work, to get closer to God, like whatever it may be, bro. The silence is where you do all those things. The silence and the behind the closed doors is where the comeback starts. We see this professionally when athletes are rehabbing injuries, bro. Like, you don't see that whole process. They just had a bad injury. You've seen that. You've seen them hit rock bottom, but you didn't see what they did to rehab to come back 10 times better. You didn't see what they did to get that injury back right and come back and play their sport. You don't see people reinventing themselves after failure because they do it silently. They come back silently because I'm just going to be honest, it's easier to do it that way. It's way easier because you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't got to do things for other people. You're just doing stuff for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to prove yourself right. You're trying to get right with yourself, or it could be rebuilding faith after you experience a setback. Like, you don't see people going out there and broadcasting, oh, I'm doing this, I'm building my faith, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Like, no, they're doing that silently so they can get right with themselves, so they can prove themselves right, so they can prove to themselves that they can come back, they can do what they set out to do in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So the world doesn't need to see all that. The world, it won't see your preparation. It will just see the results. The world sees the success, but never all the work that goes into it. Never all the silent work behind it. Never all the work that went on behind closed doors. Just like I said, bro, when an athlete gets hurt and they're rehabbing, they're doing all that, like, you don't see that. All you see is the comeback. All you see is the success. All you see is, oh, he got hurt, but now he's back. You know what I'm saying? Now he's back to where he was, or he's better than he was. Like, you don't need to announce your comeback. You don't need to announce the work you're putting in. You don't need to announce everything that's going on in your life. Just let your growth, let the results, let the success, let the actions do the talking. Because real transformation happens in private. I promise you, the people you hear out here bragging about what they got going on, or bragging about doing this type of work or doing that, don't really work for real. They don't really grind for real. They don't really try to build in silence. They're just broadcasting the one thing they did for the day so they feel good about it. But no, man, the real transformation happens in private. All of it is in private. I'm not gonna lie, like, not all of it, but 99% of it is in private, you know, whether that be in prayer, whether that be in reflection, whether that be in routines or habits, discipline, like anything, bro. The real transformation happens in private. And once you get behind those closed doors, man, once you get in that part of life where you're silently trying to make a comeback, or you're silently trying to rebuild something, you're silently trying to get right within yourself, like, don't rush the silence, you know, don't rush that period of time, don't rush that season of life, you know, because that silence, it may feel uncomfortable because you've never been in that predicament before. You know, just working or going ghost from the world and focusing on you might feel uncomfortable at first. You know, it might feel like something you've never done before, you know what I'm saying? But it's necessary. So don't rush through that. Like, that silence is not a punishment, it's preparation. Like I always say, bro, God is never punishing you. God is never going to work against you. He's just preparing you for something. And it's just the same thing with this. Like, that silence at the beginning of that comeback, or the silence during the whole process of the comeback, is not punishment, it's preparation. Like, God put you in that position in order to prepare you for something bigger, you know, in order to prepare you for the opportunity He's about to bring in your life. Like, the quiet seasons are needed. The seasons where you're alone are needed. You know, He uses those quiet seasons to shape your character, to build you into a better person, to build you and prepare you for what's next. And He does this to allow you to focus before that next big breakthrough, you know, before that next big opportunity, before that door opens, man. So if you're in your season of comeback, you know, if you're in your season of rebuilding yourself or rebuilding something in your life, like, it starts in silence. It starts behind closed doors. It starts when nobody's watching, you know, so don't fight that part of it. Embrace the quiet, embrace the silence, embrace the alone time, you know, do the work, go grind, go get closer to God, go talk to God. And when it's time to come back, you don't got to say a word. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to see the results. Everybody's going to see the growth in the work that you've put in. You know, the private discipline will always lead to public elevation. The private discipline will always lead to success. The private discipline will always lead to growth and to becoming the person that you want to become. So, you know, stop telling everybody everything. You know, stop broadcasting everything you're doing out to the world, and just stay solid and continue to build, continue to grow, continue to learn, just become the person, you know, that you want to be. But that'll be all for this video, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like this video, go hit that sub button. You know, we're 600 subs. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next one.